Trezeo is not a social enterprise. It is a for-profit, investor-backed business. But that doesn't mean you can't, make money from doing the right thing. And I think that's where kind of technology does change things fundamentally. It changes how we can address and kind of service these customers, where in kind of legacy world, you just weren't able to, because it was too expensive to get to these customers, too expensive to find them, to service them. And as both the shift with technology and also the shift with platforms and the organization of this sector is making it easier to service. So we think that there's a real opportunity to create affordable, accessible products that are actually available to a really wide range of people, and also have a really good commercial business on top of that. We think about it in network effect terms in a couple of ways. One is that we're dealing with cohorts of customers where there are interesting network effects. So for example, even in the transport space, there's a lot of intermediation and fragmentation. So by getting partnerships in one part, there's a very interesting network effect from those partnerships to other workers who may be working for other companies, but actually work alongside doing the same deliveries. Amazon is a good example. They use a whole range of providers to do their deliveries. So that's one area. I think the other network effect is around building knowledge of this community, building data. And it's not data in its own right. It's the cohort effect of having data, really deeply understanding customers and really deeply understanding where they sit against other customers, so we can actually help them. So help them understand when it's quiet or busy, things like that. So they're probably the key network effects that we're kind of focused on initially. In theory, all workers will want benefits around things like sickness and holiday pay and things like that. But if you actually ask most of them if they would want them in the context of the implications of platforms having to move to shift work, which is really one of the only ways of working it, particularly with minimum wage, they want them, but they want them without losing the flexibility that they get from being able to switch on and switch off when they want, on the positive side of that. So, and then the other side is, there is a shortage of workers in almost every category of work, whether it be gig work or other parts of it. So, and there's huge competition for work. Because these workers are self-employed contractors, they have they literally have complete flexibility. Most of them work across multiple platforms, and therefore the platforms and traditional companies who employ contractors and are starting to realize that both from a economic point of view of attracting and retaining workers, but also I think a lot of them look on it and go, it's in our interest that our workers are protected, and therefore if there's a service that we can either provide or refer our workers to that actually helps them have that kind of protection, then that's a win-win. In fact, we're finding with quite a lot of them that they're willing to actually pay for a basic service for their drivers, because they see value in the insurance and in that level of protection, and also in the integration of payments and some of the other things we can do in the future. I suppose the next major milestone is really getting our first couple of partners, B2B2C partners up and running, and getting their workers onto the platform and using it, and alongside that, raising further funding so we can actually then really capitalize on that opportunity. So we have a reasonable a good strong pipeline today of potential partners, and obviously as we get the first few live, that will give us the kind of the foundation and the case studies then to really push hard. But on the other side of that, we'll need the funding as well to be able to scale with that and to be able to work with all those partners. So the key piece is continue to build out the product, but also and build out the team particularly on that kind of customer facing, marketing, sales, and just activation side, so that we can activate a pipeline of partners, so we can continue to stay close to the customers as well, so we can continue to learn from them, because that community piece has been hugely powerful to learn and get feedback quickly, and then really and lay that foundation so that we have a proven scalable model that then, we can then go on and raise further funding to really take the shackles off and expand and drive scale both in the UK and then start looking internationally. The most challenging thing is probably the scale of our ambition and the scale of the things we're trying to do. So we are trying to build in so many directions with a very small team. So we're trying to build a broader product set. We're trying to build a community-driven customer base and a partner base and engage with banks and fund the thing. So it's that whole, and we're being very frank, we have big ambitions. And the only way we can achieve those is by proving out a lot of things. And as we've learned from the product, we have to build out a broader product because that's what the customers really need. Some people will say it's social enterprise. Well, actually not. Our most material partnership has come out of that work with like-minded companies who are commercial, who have a like-minded vision for a better future, which is a much easier environment to work in and work together.